Welcome to the U World Order Showcase Program, the platform dedicated to highlighting visionary entrepreneurs and coaches who are shaping the U World economy. Each week, we're celebrating the power of the individual and coming together to uplift and empower one another to reach new heights of growth and prosperity as we showcase a coach, company, or entrepreneur stepping out to be the change they want to see in the world. With our collective efforts, we're creating a world where every person has the tools to realize their full potential and thrive like never before. Join us today as we chat with this week's guest to learn how they got started, what they're doing, and how they're making a difference in shaping the U World Order.
Welcome to the U World Showcase program. Today we're talking to Carrie Strimel. Carrie takes pride in bringing communities together to prosper and grow through publishing a local neighborhood magazine. Local residents are highlighted on the cover of each magazine every month, and local content is displayed, including calendar of events, sports pages, pet pages, and more. She also publishes a faith-based magazine that is free online, and it is not only beautifully designed, but always full of inspiring content. With that, let's welcome Carrie Strimel. So welcome, Carrie, to the U World Order Showcase program. We're so glad to have you here, and I'm really excited to hear about your magazine publishing thing that you're doing. It's really kind of a unique program, and it really relates to the whole U World Order concept of, small, local, really building up people in your community, which was something that I just found so fascinating. If I didn't have like 3,000 other things going on, I would totally do this because I really believe in it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. So thank you for having me. It's exciting to kind of share the story, just the way it all kind of came about. So definitely wasn't my purpose and design. So it's fun to be where I'm at here now.
So let us know how it is that it did come about for you.
Okay. It's kind of a fun story. So in 2018, we had our local magazine, and I am on the board of a nonprofit. And so I contacted the publisher at the time and they used to do a nonprofit feature page. And so I was like, oh, we're right here in the community. I'd love for them to know and the community to know about our nonprofit. And so that relationship turned to me being on the cover with my family. And this was in 2018. And so if you had asked that gal right there, she'd be doing anything with magazines or publishing, she probably would have laughed, had no clue about any of it. So previously I was working in medical sales. And so, of course, the world events happen, and I'm no longer doing medical sales because I have a daughter with some unique needs, and it came very much about her safety, our safety, but just navigating through all of that. So fast forward, I spent a lot of time just kind of figuring out. I was like hustling, doing all that stuff. And I realized that I was actually hustling a bit too much. Like it wasn't a balance in my life. And so I had to kind of figure out, how do I get balance in my life? That became very important to me because we aren't given a certain amount of time. And so I just did a lot of prayer on that. Through that, I learned how with a friend of mine to publish an online faith-based magazine. And so that one, we call it 40 Dandelions, and it is at 40 Dandelions.
I love that name. The dandelions, they just make me smile. And today I saw my first dandelion out when I was on my walk for spring. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm glad you did. The 40 Dandelions has a unique story too, which if we have time, I'll explain. I just will tie this one up so we have that. But so through that, it's a mission, right? And so a magazine's online, it's completely free, but it doesn't provide income to keep it going. And so that was my next step. It's like, okay, well, I have a mission now. 40 Dandelions is me. And I have 12 to 15 writers that write each time. Awesome content. I hope everyone will go check it out. Definitely free. Help you get your faith kind of back in balance as well, which was something I had to kind of figure out. So in that process of just looking for the right opportunity, I connected with a local, and she's doing another community magazine down the way. And it just struck me that we need our magazine back, and I can do that. And it's not work. It's so fun because I'm bringing the community together. The content's very local to the community. We're going to thrive and prosper because we can connect in this way. And, with the businesses that are around, it's just very local. And, prior to that, I was thinking, oh, all big out there, everywhere, social media. So it was very balancing for me personally and my family to be like, here, right here where we're at, around the people that are our neighbors. And so that's kind of the story of how that came about. And so that's kind of my mission, is to connect with people who want to have that connection in their community. It's a magazine, but it's a connector, and every month a family's featured on the front. And, you want to read it because you're like, hey, who's this in my neighborhood? I'm going to get to know them. After I did our feature cover, one of the things my daughter loved is we have this ATV and it has some flashing lights, and we would drive around and we'd get stopped. Hey, we saw you in the magazine. And, so that feeling was lost. And I'm really hoping that what I'm doing is bringing it back. So
That's amazing. So how often does the magazine publish?
it's every month. Yes. And so it's specific communities that have, anywhere from 1,500 to about 3,000 homes. That's kind of the space that we do. And it's just every month. The company that is backing these magazines is called Best Version Media. And they're the fastest growing print company in North America right now. They had record growth since they started. I think they got started in, I should know this, but 2017, something like that. They had 6 magazines in Wisconsin is how they started. And they've grown so much that there's 1,300 now nationwide. And they had record growth year after year after year, including 2020, including 2021, up until this year, just record growth. They're the most amazing company. And Best Version Media, they are looking to make you be the best version of yourself. And so it's just great to have that kind of backing behind you to do something fun like this.
Yeah. And it's, like I said, it's all about small and local and connecting people who have services that they can provide on a personal level. So, the people you're doing business with. It's just so exciting. So when you publish these magazines, you are a publisher. I really don't understand what your job is in all of this.
Yes, publishers are the ones who gather all. You have a content coordinator. So you have a content coordinator that you and this person go and gather content. So we have a pet page, a sports page. We feature the family. There's classifieds. There's calendar events. And so we work together to get that. I work together with the photographer to do the photo shoot for the family and do the write-up. And what I do is I just kind of gather the businesses that want to sponsor and be in the magazine. I just gather all of that on a monthly basis and give it to Best Version Media. They help design, print, and mail out the magazine.
And they mail out to everybody in that community? It's free to them?
It's homeowners. So because of the types of services and retail that's in the magazine and the family feature, it does go to homeowners is what it is in that certain area.
Yeah, that makes total sense because homeowners are, they're stationary. They're going to be part of the community because, they bought a home there and they're going to be connected to other people and to the businesses. So how do you find the businesses to support your magazine, your publication?
That's currently what I'm doing to get this one back into print. So, obviously it costs a certain amount of money to print, Mm-hmm. 3,000 magazines. And so I go to local businesses and I, say, this is what I'm doing. I would love your sponsorship. Help us get to print and get this out every month. It's kind of funny, like flooring is a good one. Mm-hmm. We send this to, like I said, 3,000 homes, they all have floors, so, right. Real estate agents, they're so very involved in the community, right? And they're the mm-hmm. ones that knows that what's going on, buying, selling of homes and that sort of thing. So, real estate's really big to be in the magazine. Local retail restaurants. I think when you pick up the magazine and you want to know about this family, as you go through each month, you're going to be like, you know what, this month I need a landscaper. I'm going to mm-hmm. look here because they're the expert in my community. And,
right.
And it kind of brings all that together.
So do you have like tiered pricing and stuff for these advertisers? It's really easy to contact people, businesses?
Yes. Yeah, it's all laid out. It's I just go into what's called my back office, and I show them the sizes. We have 1/8 page, 1/4 page, 1/2 page, full page, a 2-page, kind of, so it just kind of fits in where they see their business. And mm-hmm. I hope everyone sees themselves as, much more than what, like if they see themselves on an 8th page, I hope they see themselves more than that, and I help them to kind of realize you're very valuable in this community.
Right.
So, yes, I can. And then I just kind of price, really the best thing is, do you have any room in your marketing budget? I can probably fit you in the magazine based on your budget.
So that's really interesting. So how would people get involved with this if they wanted to publish a magazine in their own community?
Yes, so they can actually, one of the best things to do is just reach out to me, and a resume will be sent to Best Version Media. They will decide based on the resume if that publisher is a good fit. An interview will happen. And then I was okay with this because I'd gotten into some things before where you kind of have to put money up front, and then, and I wasn't sure, like, I kind of go into things like, where's the red flags? And if I see any red flags, yeah, I'm out, And so when I didn't have to have a buy-in, I was like more intrigued. Okay. And then you do a 3-day training. And by the end of those 3 days, you are trained to go be a publisher. And you're excited to go be a publisher and do this in your community. It's so doable because there's so much support. You have a productivity coach that backs you at Best Version Media. So if you need anything answered, they're there for you. There's calls every day that you can get on. So if you don't have appointments, learn. And so that support. So yeah, then you do your 3-day training and you're ready to go. You just have to get to that baseline so that you have the money covered to print the magazine, and then you'll earn an income based off of your sponsorships after that. So within a month to 2 months, 3 months, depending on your time frame and how much time you can invest. And there goes my puppies. You could be earning income very quickly. And that
what kind of income is possible with this? Just to give people a ballpark. I mean, like anything, however much you're going to put into it's what you're going to get out of it. But
yeah, and what's cool is the sky's the limit. So if you're in a super, super small community, you may be making $5,000-$10,000 a month. Our highest paid publisher, who has 6 magazines, makes over $70,000 every single month. So, it's the income is limitless, and it is going to be based on the amount of effort. And, if you really see that value, it's going to work so easy.
So what do you think the baseline income, just if you get enough sponsors to actually get the magazine published?
Yeah.
There's a baseline for that. So what would the starting point for the commission be right there? So
I couldn't put a value on that because 1,500 homes is different than 3,000 homes. So it's going to depend on that, but it's going to be anywhere. Let's just say 12 to 15 sponsors will get you to print. Mm-hmm. And that's only about, 15-20% maybe of where you would be where you could be well after that. So about 12 to 15 sponsors can get you to print. But again, 1,500 homes, very different than 3,000 homes. Just depends.
Okay, fair enough. So you want to tell us about the Dandelion magazine a little bit?
would love to. So, like I said, go to 40dandelions.com. Beautifully done. I'm super proud of it, but it is there to really
nice.
help build a better relationship with you and God. That is something that when, I found myself stuck at home and not hustling, I realized, yes, I'm a believer. I really am. God, I accepted him into my heart when I was 15 and I've never turned back. But I was just, oh, he's there. Yeah, we're good. But it became very apparent that, and it's kind of a silly story, but I hope maybe it will inspire somebody. But I didn't grow up with quite a father figure. I didn't know my dad. I had to reach out, meet him in my early 20s. And so when I sat there going, okay, so I'm praying, I'm trying to figure all this out. I'm praying to God and he's our father, right? And it dawned on me that was like, well, what does a father-daughter relationship look like? I don't know. So I had to kind of like build that. And so I was like, well, if I was going to reach out to my dad for just anything on any given day, let's just say we didn't live together, then I would call him. And so I hope everyone laughs at this because I laugh at it every time. So I literally would sit there and go, okay, I need to reach out to God. And I'd be like, ring, hello. And I don't have to do that now.
Somewhere.
It was it's what got me to feel just more comfortable. And as that relationship just kind of built, like 40 dandelions grew out of that. Like every day something would happen that he would guide me and we would start this. And so it was very interesting because I needed to find a name. I hope 40 dandelions will be way more than the magazine. It's going to be a mission. It's really going to impact a lot of people. I hope that's how I feel. But I was trying to figure out a name because I'd been given a tip that if you find a business name, you go to this website, you put it in, and it will tell you what social media is available. You want to find a name where you have all the social media. So I love words like longevity, transformation, anything to, make you healthy and happy, And so I'm looking at all these names. I'm Googling like longest living tree because I'm like, maybe there's a cool name in there, And through this search, I have found this sermon about the dandelion. And it basically goes like this. God sent out an angel to go find the perfect flower. He's out into the world bringing back, we have some amazing, beautiful flowers on this planet. So he's just bringing back all these beautiful flowers. And, God's like, nope, that's not it. That's not it. He's a few months into his search and he's kind of like, man, am I ever going to find this flower? And he walks by this field of dandelions. He picks this yellow flower and he brings it back. And God's like, yes, that's the perfect flower. And it kind of went off on a different way, where it's like, it was more geared towards kids and being yourself and all that. So I was like, I kind of got disconnected, but I was like, but what is this about the dandelion and God's perfect flower, So I started researching just kind of the dandelion. Well, I'd forgotten it was the puff that we blew as kids and made wishes on, you know what I mean? And the dandelion does all the things. It has longevity. Keep pulling that sucker out. It's going to keep coming back.
Yeah.
It's super
deep roots.
beneficial. Yeah. The roots.
And all parts of it are edible.
And medicinal, like every part of it. And it opens in the morning, closes at night, kind of like how we wake up. And it just kind of mimics and it goes through a transformation. It is the first flower to bloom to feed the bees and the ants and get their process started for the spring. And once that phase is done, it has to go back into itself in kind of like a dark place. And then it becomes that puff. And then so I see a lot of people, whether it's faith or health and wellness or anything in their life, where they have to do a transformation, they'll come out as that bright flower in the beginning, but then they're going to hit a wall and they're going to have to dig deep and they're going to have to find, a way to push through that hard part. And then they come out on the other end like the pup, and then their gifts can go out into the world. And so
40 is the number of transformation.
And it was on 40 days of quarantine that my friend sent me this slip that had all the ways that 40 is mentioned in the Bible. And so I actually called my partner and I was like, I really love the idea of the dandelion. I'm sold on that. I really love this idea of the 40, like it's significant. And she was like, well, why don't we call it 40 dandelions? And I was like, that sounds awesome. Let's do that.
That is a fantastic story, Carrie. Gosh, I'm like tearing up over here. Oh. It's just like, man.
I think when we stop and take stock of what we have around us and, really decide to figure out who we really are and what our purpose is here, it can happen. You can do it,
You can do it. Anybody can. There's so much opportunity right now. I know we hear it's doom and gloom and everything's terrible, but really, in the terrible times, that's when people rise up and be the change they want to see in the world. And I'm just so impressed with what you're doing and just who you are. You've been an inspiration to me. I've followed you for probably 15 years.
A long time.
And we've never actually really connected in a meaningful way. And I just like,
I'm the same as I am on Facebook.
Yeah, you really are the same person in real life. And your husband's a race car driver.
He does.
That's really cool.
Cars.
And you play the drums.
That was another thing that I was like, why am I not doing things that I want to do? I've always wanted to play the drums. Mm-hmm. Funny story, the dad that I sought out, met in my 20s. We are on Facebook. We kind of talk. Well, when I started just over a year ago learning to play the drums, I had posted that video on Facebook, and he commented, and he's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't think you know this, but I've been a drummer my whole life. And I was like, I knew I got it from somewhere.
Yeah. Those epigenetics, they just run right through you.
Yep. So it's fun to be doing something that I've always wanted to do,
So if you're going to leave the audience with one thing that was really significant that you want them to take away from this conversation, what would that be?
We all have ups and downs in our lives, every single one of us. And unfortunately, it's never all at the same time. It's all over the map, right? So whenever you're in a situation, whether you're living on the highs of life or you're down in the lows of life, you're that dandelion. You aren't going to go away. You will grow and grow and grow. And when you hit that dark spot, you don't have to worry. You're going to come out as the pup. You're going to be able to help people with your story in some capacity. Even the small little bits changes somebody's life. It doesn't have to be this grand thing, but we're all a dandelion. We're all God's perfect flowers.
Oh, that's so great. How do people get a hold of you?
So I'm on Facebook, Carrie Hudson Strimel, and that's Strimel. You can email me at info@40, and it's 40. So info@40dandelions.com. You can go to the website and contact me there. That's the best way.
Perfect. And we'll put the links in the description.
Awesome. That'd be great.
Thanks so much, Carrie. This has been amazing.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could give you a big hug.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you for tuning in to the You World Order Showcase program. We hope today's episode has inspired you to consider how you can leverage your unique skills and talents to be the change you want to see in the world. If you're ready to take the next step and turn your passion into a 5-figure part-time business, we invite you to schedule a private consult at heartlifecoach.com. During our Passion to Profit Breakthrough session, we'll work together to identify your strengths, clarify your vision, and develop a tailored plan for achieving your goals. Don't settle for mediocrity or let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams. With the right guidance and support, you can build a thriving business that brings you joy, financial freedom, and the opportunity to make a positive impact in the world. Head over to heartlifecoach.com today to schedule your Passion to Profit Breakthrough session and take the first step towards creating the life you've always wanted. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the You World Order Showcase program.